I mean, this was the scene I was looking forward to the most. And for the most part, it's alright, but. God damn it, Whedon. What's happening, film friends? Dave the Film Junkie here. Alright, guys, I've been wanting to talk about the Superman resurrection scene in Justice League. Been wanting to talk about it for a while, of course, ever since it came out. But I just never got around to it. I'm actually glad I didn't. You know, sometimes it's weird. My procrastination can actually turn into a positive, because sometimes when I wait, I end up, well, yeah, something occurs to me. I end up having an epiphany or something. I don't know. But I was talking to somebody last night about the resurrection scene, and I mean, obviously it was cut down. We know that most of it, you look at Cavill's face, it looks normal, everything's looking cool. It's a great scene, especially when somebody actually put that Man of Steel theme when he's looking down, and then oh man, it makes my eyes well up. But the end of the scene, of course, it was cut down big time, and the end of the scene was changed as well too, because you could tell by his face and everything. Even though that shot of him all angry and say, "Do you bleed?" A lot of people were saying that it looks really bad. It actually, his face doesn't look that bad there. If you watched, full HD, it doesn't look that bad, but it still is noticeable. But first off, it was supposed to take place at night. We saw that in early trailers, stuff like that, especially when Flash was doing like his little, and then we saw that it was taking place at night, but then they made it where it was like, oh, it's more taking place during, dawn or something like that. It's just kind of dumb that the buildings in the background have all their lights on. They're all illuminated, and you just kind of go like, well, okay, yeah, I mean, I guess at dawn, but it seems pretty bright for being dawn. And not to mention, it's like, why would all the buildings be on? I mean, yeah, maybe a couple lights, but if it's like 5, 6 o'clock it's like 6 o'clock in the morning, all those lights gonna be on? Turn the lights off. I don't know. I don't know. It's weird, but maybe, I don't know. I'm not a special effects whiz, so maybe that's something else. But obviously it was supposed to take place at night, but that's, it's too dark and gritty. We gotta de-Snyder it, and then let's de-Snyder it a little bit more, because, because somebody was talking to me about it, and they're saying, like, the whole Lois thing, and Bruce bringing in Lois, calling her the big guns. At first we didn't know what the big guns were, and then we found out that the big guns were Lois, and it just occurred to me that, wait a minute, she got turned into the big guns because it's another de-Snydering device, because originally she was the key to a possible bad future of an evil Superman that Bruce Wayne was warned about by this guy right here. That's right. She's the key. You were always right about him. Yeah. And not to mention, I mean, this actually confirms that I think originally this is how they were going to bring him back. Because I was questioning, did they really bring him back with just the mother box like this? Yes, I think the mother box had to do with it, but no, I don't think it didn't have to do with the way they did it. When they pulled him out of there, they put him in the water, blah, blah, blah. I think he was already in there. I think he was already in the ship, something, who knows how he got there, but I think it was relatively something similar to how Doomsday was created. It had to do with that, and not to mention, God damn it, I was right. One of my theories, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make so much noise right there, but one of my theories that I had, and I think other people had the theories too, it's not just my own, a lot of people did too, but one of the main reasons why he came back, he still had life in him. Apparently, Cyborg knew he still had life with him. Why did he have life inside him? Because of the Codex. That's right, Man of Steel. But they wanted to erase everything with Batman vs. Superman and Man of Steel. But I had a feeling, I was like, well, what about the Codex? There's still like something going on. It's grafted onto his skeleton, right? I mean, what's going on with that? The whole Man of Steel thing, are they going to go back to that? And I'm thinking, well, technically that is life, so maybe that's why we saw the dirt rise up or something like that. Maybe because there's something still inside of him. And according to some of the descriptions and some of the things I've heard, that yes, Cyborg actually sensed that. He scanned and said, there's still life with him, blah, blah, blah. There you go. The Codex was going to be mentioned in Justice League. Ugh, so freaking dumb. But back to the Lois thing, and the mother box thing. I think they were going to use the mother box as a way to like jumpstart him. I think that was it. It makes me wonder if Bruce was going to be so, hey, we got to do this. We can bring him back. He was so crazy anxious to do it. It just really, it was kind of add a character from the previous. I mean, I could see why he wanted to. They explained that, which was a pretty good scene, but it was something that was changed too. I'm just wondering how excited he was in the original cut. Probably not as excited as it was in this cut. But Lois, turning from the key that was mentioned in Batman vs. Superman, showing a possible future, apocalyptic future, where evil Superman inhabited this future and he was working alongside Darkseid. Just frustrates me because apparently too, what was also mentioned was that he saw a vision, Superman, Steppenwolf's fucking with his head, as well as I think the Mother Box too, because obviously Superman has a connection to the Mother Box if that's what gave him life, and then of course that means he had a connection with Cyborg, which we saw a little bit of that, but still I think we actually were going to see that vision of something, maybe a little bit of Darkseid apparently, but that's been debunked. Who knows what the hell's going on with that. But pretty much the nightmare sequence in Batman vs Superman is meaningless now because they just totally de-Snydered it. Okay, they turned Lois from the key to the big guns. The big guns. That was obviously Joss Whedon because, let's face it, the man loves big boobies. Guess you could call them big guns, right? Fucking, oh God, he's so, I don't know. I don't even, and it's funny because I used to like the guy, but just lately, it's just not really liking the guy, but yeah, so she turns from the key to the big guns, the nightmare sequences, that awesome. I mean, the nightmare sequence is great. I thought it was great, but I remember being in the theater and seeing Flash coming through that worm, it wasn't a boom tube really, it was just like some kind of portal, or maybe it was a form of boom tube, but I was so excited to see that, and it's just, that scene would give me goosebumps. It's like, what are you talking about? And we kind of find out what he was talking about. But yeah, it just totally got removed, just surgically removed, that whole nightmare sequence. And then, I mean, even in the trailer, we hear Bruce say, I had a dream, and maybe that's what he was mentioning when they were talking about the Mother Box and bringing him back and blah, blah, blah. Maybe Bruce was a little reluctant to do that because of what he saw. But then he was like, you know what? I got to find Lois because obviously she's the key. That's maybe what Flash was warning me about. So Alfred, maybe he was talking to Alfred when the big fight was happening because there was more to that fight too, because we see Cyborg, ram into that tank that's headed towards the police and, make sure you get out of the way. That means Superman was throwing a goddamn tank. That means the army was there and police and everything. That means we saw the world. Remember how this movie is so freaking contained. You never see the world or anything, and you just saw that one little Russian family. But this scene right here was going to show like army and police and blah, blah, blah. And it just totally got removed as well. But it just pisses me off that Lois, who is the key and was so important in Man of Steel and in Justice League, she was a little bit important in this just to, bring them down. But she went from the key to big guns. So there you go, guys. That's just what I want to talk about with all that. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. And it was lame too, because then all of a sudden Steppenwolf just shows up, grabs the box, and leaves. I think there was probably something else different with that too, but yeah, so that was just like, what the heck, man? She went from the key to big guns, and then it totally just wiped out that nightmare sequence big time, because that's what Barry was, that's what he was warning about a possible future with this evil Superman that they were currently fighting. And Bruce knew this, and Bruce knew that he needed to bring Lois in, and he probably had Alfred, scour the city to find her. I mean, we do see a shot of her in the trailer where she looks up. Maybe she does realize that, but I think there was going to be some interaction with Lois and Alfred. It's just all frustrating, guys. Anyways, there you go. That's my big spiel about that. Let me know your thoughts about it down below. What do you think about all of it? Hit that like, thumbs up button if you'd be so kind. Subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to the other channel too. Follow me on the social media stuff floating above my head. And of course, I got shirts and stickers like this one, Film Junkie, in the shop. All right, guys. Talk to you later.